Hello, Editor Jelly here, and I would like to say that I did not realize there will be multiple Discord pings in this video. I wish I could remove them, but I don't know how. That would mute my dialogue, and I don't want to mute my dialogue, so count how many times you hear Discord pings throughout the video, and tell me in the comments how many did you find.
We're live in 3, 2, 1, action!
Hello everybody! As you can see from my new banner and profile picture, I can finally say I have a new persona. In my last update video, I mentioned to you guys I wanted to change what my old persona looks like, and I can finally say here is what the official design looks like. And to celebrate that, I would like to show you guys the full process of how I made the profile picture and banner, as well as the full body concept art of what my new persona looks like. Now, let's get right into the video. So the first thing I'd like to address is the hair. I'm not really proud of it because the strands on the sides of my hair kind of look like a peanut, and I was not I was not expecting for it to look like that. So we're just gonna ignore that. We're just gonna ignore that bit. I'm not proud of that one, but everything else, it looks fine. I'm just not proud of how the strands on the side of my hair looks like. But overall, it looks okay. Next, I'm going to be talking about my jumpsuit. At first, when I was drawing this, I realized it kind of looked a bit plain because I just used simple like purples and lighter purples, and then I realized it kind of looks boring. So I decided to add like paint splatter or paint splotches on the ends of my pants. And then I was like, hey, why don't I put like small splotches of paint on the side of my shirt? Because let's be honest, I am not going to always be drawing the pants. I'm always going to be drawing from the waist, from the head up to the waist down. I'm never going to be drawing my legs a lot. So I just put some like small paint splotches on the side there to remind myself that I have more paint on the end of my pants. I don't know, it's just a reminder to myself. But overall, it looks really cute. I was actually planning to remove the small paint on my shirt, but I was like, no, I'm keeping it, and I'm really glad I stuck with it. Now on to the shoes. What is there to say? They kind of look boring. I'm not proud of how they turned out. I kind of gave up on them. I was like, no one's gonna see the shoes anyway when I draw myself, so what's the point? But I just put them there just in case. I kind of based them off on these pair of shoes that I have at home. I'm able to like remove the laces from them, and they kind of look way better without the laces. Sometimes I put them on if I want to. So yeah, that's what I based them off on. But in this case, they're pink instead of black, like the real ones that I have. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. I'm not good at drawing shoes, guys. I'm sorry. Finally, I'm just going to be talking about some minor details in my design, such as the bracelets that I added on my right hand. I have these pair of braces. That doesn't make any sense. I have these pair of braces. The final thing I'd like to address right now is just like some minor details that I added to the drawing, such as the bracelets that I added. These are based off real bracelets that I have in real life. I just changed them a bit to match the style more, and I'm really proud that I had that idea because they're so cute. Unfortunately, I forgot them. I forgot to draw them in the profile picture and banner, and I feel really bad because they are so cute. Why did I forget about them? Oh man! I think it's because I was like too focused on the hands. I don't know. But I still can't forgive myself for doing that. Anyways, for the skin tone, in my old persona, I looked so pale. I gave myself such a pale skin tone. That's one of the reasons why I decided to give myself a redesign, because I did not like how the skin tone looked. So what I did for the new one, I decided to get a reference photo of myself and decided to like color pick from the photo of what my skin tone should look like. And overall, it kind of looks okay. It's not accurate. It's because I'm very tan because I'm like Filipino and I live in like a hot country, so my skin tone will change from time to time, especially during the summer. But this is like the most accurate I can get the color of my skin to look. So yeah, overall, I really like it. I'm just glad that I don't have to look so pale. So this is the final art of how I look like, and I'm really proud of this. Even though it's not as rendered as I want it to be, I just have to keep reminding myself it doesn't have to be so rendered. Now on to my favorite part, the profile picture and the banner. I'm so excited, guys! Now we're moving on to the profile picture. I'm really proud of how this one turned out because it was so hard to make this. At first, I was like struggling with the pose. I wanted to like point to my glasses or something, or like move them down, but I didn't really want to show my eyes in this one as much. So I decided to put a pose where I'm like painting the screen in front of me, and that was a struggle in and of itself because I had a hard time making the hands. I did not want to trace the hands. So I just gave myself so I just had to do it multiple times. I had to keep on drawing it multiple times. It was hard, but we got there in the end, and I'm okay with how the hands look like. I should really improve more on how I draw hands. Hands are really difficult to draw. For the line art, at first I wanted to give it a more cleaner look, but then I saw the sketch and I was like, this looks too good. I don't want to change it, so I decided to use the sketch as my line art, and I'm really glad that I went with that approach. I also decided to give the line art a more brighter color to make it look more like hyper pop-ish, because I was like watching a video on how to do hyper pop, and then I was like, what if I added that to the drawing? It doesn't really look like hyper pop. It's just loosely inspired by it. I still like it nonetheless. You might have noticed that I've drawn my eyes in the sketch because I had this idea where one lens of my glasses will be super opaque, so you won't see the eye at all, and the other lens will have a lower opacity, just like a tiny smidge, so you can see my eyes through it just a little bit. And also because I wanted to draw my eyes, I got super inspired by my art project and I wanted to draw them. So kind of contradictory that a while ago I said I didn't want to draw my eyes. So yeah. After I fully rendered the design, I decided to do this idea where the fully rendered design would be clipped inside of the paint that is in front of me, and then the sketched out part would be behind the paint. And when I did that, I realized you wouldn't see the rendered part as much. It would be like so small, and I didn't want that. I wanted you guys to see the fully rendered thing, so I decided to switch the sketch out and the rendered part. I wanted to switch them out. So I don't really know how to feel about this because I liked my old idea better, but I'm really glad I get to see the full rendered thing a bit more. The thing I struggled the most with this profile picture was the background of it, because I didn't want it to make it look busy, but I also didn't want it to make it look boring. So at first I did like paint splatters around the background, but that made it too busy, so that wasn't a good idea. Then I decided to color the paint splatters in a more muted tone, but I didn't really like how it looked with the with how my persona looked like. So I decided to do like a simple white outline around the character and then a simple fade background where one part is a lighter pink and one is a darker pink. And honestly, this was better. This was way better than the paint splatter thing idea that I did, and you can see my character a bit more. I think one of the reasons why I didn't went for a simple background because I was worried you wouldn't see my character, because a lot of like the colors I put on my character, on my persona, was like a lot of pink and purples. But as you can see, the majority of the colors on me is mostly purple, and the only thing that's pink was glasses. The pink made it was a good complementary color to the character, so I'm really glad that it worked out in the end. For the YouTube banner, it wasn't really that hard to make. It was like super easy. What I did, I just got a transparent version of my profile picture and then added it to the part where you would see the banner the most. And then after that, I created a white outline around it, and then I put a new watermark on in the middle as my title, because the old watermark that I used for the new intro I made for my channel, I did not really like it. I realized it doesn't really work as a watermark. It wasn't a good watermark, so I decided to make a new one during my free time, and I prefer this much better. I prefer this way more than the old one that I made. I might use the old one, I'm not sure, but I'll barely use it. I'll use the new one that I made more. And then for the rest of the banner, I didn't know what to do with it. So what I did, I just got a bunch of photos of the smaller version of my persona and just stick it around the banner. I just surrounded it. I just sticked it everywhere around the banner. I even added like smaller versions of my brother in the banner, and I'm really glad that I came up with that idea. So these are all the drawings that I made for my new persona, and I'm really proud of how they all turned out. I really love the new design, and I hope you guys love it as much as I do. I'm really proud of how it looks, on how I made it, on all of the colors. I just love it, guys. It looks so good. I especially love the paint thing on the profile picture. I was really proud of that. I love that one. So anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm pretty sure it's super long because as of doing the voiceover, it's like 16 minutes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you guys were entertained. Bye!